Rabioso, a man whom I have featured before due to his paranormal encounters, today he returns, but not for vengeance. He returns because he found a new way to get his nose shoved into yet another paranormal pile. He recently decided to visit the house of his lost father. He wasn't lost like missing, he passed away. So the house has been left abandoned ever since. Now, why did I say Rabioso decided to shove his nose in more paranormal related stuff? That's a different story. I don't know if the house was haunted prior to his visit, but he never mentioned it, which could indicate it wasn't. It seems more like this man came in and brought his ghosts with him, in which they found a new place to linger around. It began as some faint, subtle sounds of kids crying emerged, but it was followed up by an even crazier, much scarier event. From the doorway of the bathroom, a shadowy figure appeared to be lurking on the man, but since he had had previous experiences with such incidents, he never feared stepping forward and getting closer to that bathroom until he reached it and found no trace of any creature whatsoever. What made this whole thing even scarier was the faint whispers and knocks he heard right after he checked that bathroom, and to make matters worse, he giggled as if it was something to be laughing about. Most likely, he lost a bit of his mind in that moment. It happens. Even I experience such things under high pressure after a long time.
Estoy acá en la casa de mi hijo, ¿ven? Acá el campo. Bueno, acá se ve un patio, pero es todo campo. Y me senté 2 segundos acá y... ¿Lo ven? ¿Lo ven ahí? Hace unos segundos se está asomando algo y... Yo veo... ¿Ven? ¿Lo ven? ¿Se ve? ¿Ven? Mira. ¡Ey! ¡Ey! Concha de la lora. No veo nada, la puta que lo remí parió. Puta madre. Me doy vuelta todo alrededor, no hay nada, La casa estaba abandonada porque dejamos todas las cosas ahí, pero... Se escucha algo. Uy, concha de la lora. No, estoy re loco. Bueno, si vieron algo, me dicen en los comentarios. No se puede creer.
That it all happened during the day, and that the shadow figure didn't shy from showing up at this time of the day in close range makes it so much creepier. I think your father would be enraged seeing you visit his house, knowing very well that you had a ghostly attachment. A lot of people out there have different opinions about ghost hauntings and the paranormal world. Some say that it's all hoax because they have never experienced it themselves, and some believe it just by seeing videos about it. But when it comes to me, I say everyone is free to have their own take on it, but you better believe in it. So, next we have Abdullah, the man of the hour, as they say, which I don't completely understand. He lives with his mama. It's not a big deal. He has a cool room, and he is still pretty young. Now, one night, he was up late, at exactly 3:30 a.m. His mom didn't scream at him or anything, but the ghost did. What ghost, you may ask? Well, that's what Abdullah had to discover that night, unfortunately for him. As he was on the phone, he heard a voice calling for him. The problem wasn't just the voice itself, it was the tone. That ghost mimicked the man's voice perfectly. But if you thought Abdullah was scared, then you're right. Don't tell me you were waiting on me to say he stood his ground with no fear. No, Abdullah was so scared his knee screws were unscrewed. The following nights, this paranormal activity escalated and went to a whole new level. That door of his that he thinks is the protecting shield between him and the jinn was almost destroyed due to the heavy knockings these ghosts were causing. They almost shook the whole door off. But finally, Abdullah caught up to the events and decided to man up. So in the end, he began opening the door whenever it started shaking or knocking. But that was no use. As he opens the door, he finds nothing. The activity stops for a short amount of time before it returns. In the end, these ghosts kicked the door on him. Not literally, but instead of just waiting outside and smashing the door, they went inside his room and began throwing his stuff off the shelf.
I was about to sleep and then this happened again. It was around 2 a.m. in the morning.
Ruhan?
That is my voice. If you don't know what is going on, so see my previous videos. They mimic my voice always, but they don't comment.
ما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلمون ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم بشيء من علمه لما شاء يصير في السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم من
So this happened again.
मुझे पता है बात वही से अब मत करना
I was watching reels when I heard the knocking when I asked, "Who are you?" Then in reply, I heard my own voice.
कौन है कौन कौन मामा रुहान जाओ
I was about to sleep and this happened again. So I heard my voice again after a month.
मैंने नहीं खोलना لا لا اله الا هو الحكيم لا تهزو سنته عنه لا 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 هو في السماوات وما لا تشفعون له ولا يعلمون ما بين ايديهم ما خلفهم ولا يؤتون لما شاء في كرسي السماوات والارض لا يؤوده اسمه وهو العلي العظيم तो मुझे क्या क्या है तुम्हें भूख लगी या खाना खाओ मेरे मुझे तंग मत करो
After this, it started crying and then it became violent.
मैंने नहीं खोलना इसे निकल ऐसे करते हैं एक ना डी हम लोग एक डी कर लेते हैं ठीक है आप लोग मेरे को तंग ना करो मैं आपको ना करूँ तंग और अगर मजबूर है तो कोई चीज़ हिला दो या कोई आवाज़ वगैरह कर दो मगर मैं दिखाता हूँ सी कुछ भी नहीं है माई डोर इज़ लॉक सी ये लॉक लगा हुआ है एंड गेस ये गिरा है या जो भी whatever as you guys can see कोई भी नहीं है कमरे में I'm alone and जैसे मैंने बोला कि कोई चीज़ हिला दो गिरा दो या बोल दो so you know what happened and yeah मैं just like दूसरी अपनी कर लेता हूँ मुझे इतना होप नहीं आता but yeah ठीक है जो कि bye.
Look, man, I see you praying, but you need to find the reason why such events began to occur. Because if these events weren't present in the past, there must be something you or your family have done to trigger these events. An actual three-dimensional dog who lives and breathes. What a description. So while a very nice guy, who isn't so nice since he used the F word, while he was enjoying his everyday virgin life, his dog decided to spice things up. Things didn't go the way you may expect it to. They didn't get into it like men and women. That's a different scenario. The dog started staring and barking at the wall. Now if this man had a wife, I would say his wife is hiding a man in the house. But he is too virgin to be married. Then it's not a cheating situation we are dealing with here. It's either that his dog is mentally disabled, or the house is haunted. Because once your dog starts barking at nothing, then you know you're in trouble. Or maybe there is a thief hiding somewhere and you're too scared to investigate. Zoe, or that's what I assume he called his dog, she was so attached to whatever was in the house that she said, "What?" at some point during the video. And how did I understand that? Well, let's just say I was bitten by a dog once, and ever since, I have had a dog instinct.
What? Are you kidding me? There's nobody here. She's growling at something. I'm honestly kind of scared. What is it, Zoe? Zoe? Zoe, what are you growling at? Huh? Zoe? What is it? What is it, Zoe? I'm like afraid to look. There's literally nothing here. The only explanation is it's a ghost. Seriously, there's honestly no one here. I am literally home alone right now. Nobody here. No one in here. Literally nobody in the house. Except for me and Zoe. There's no one over here. No one's hiding. Every time I move, I swear to you. She's literally like looking and barking at like something that we can't see. It's kind of scary. Look at this. What is she looking at? What is it, Zoe? She keeps looking over there. Are you freaking kidding me? What the is going on right now? Did you see that? What the heck? There's seriously nothing there. Oh my gosh. Hey! Hey, stop it. Are you kidding me?
That's why I never want a dog or a security camera in my house. I don't want to see stuff floating around or noticing weird behavior by the pet. That and the fact that I don't even have a house. They always turn their backs on those who trusted them the most, but that has nothing to do with the next video. The quotation should be, never turn your back on those who can't be trusted the most, because imagine you're doing the dishes and I know how miserable. You have to imagine such a tedious process, but bear with me for a second and shut it. So, where was I? Yes, the dishes. Imagine you're doing the dishes, you have your back to the wall, and you're not expecting anyone to hit you from the back, and all of a sudden, you don't get hit from behind. Instead, you hear a sound. The sound of an object being moved. You turn around, and the first thing you notice is that the chair has moved from its place. It's creepy and unexplainable, which is why Clay decided to set up multiple cameras in his house, especially in the kitchen, to watch over his back after the chair incident. In the video, you will see the chair being moved by none other than the ghosts. Even when Clay went to realign the chair and put it back where it was, moments after he turned around, it was moved again. But we are not just sticking to one paranormal activity, we are also going to be seeing more craziness. As of one night, footsteps began occurring while the door was being knocked on, despite no one knocking at the door at that time, as the camera outside captured. Even in the bedroom, the bathroom's door was moved, while the lights in there flickered multiple times. It was such a creepy experience. I bet these ghosts are moving the chair to watch over the man while he washes the dishes, but every time he puts it back where it was, they get more pissed. Maybe you should try to give these ghosts a chance, Clay. Let's talk about Mark. Who? The creator of Facebook. No, the creator of the next video. He is a dude who deals with a house haunting case on a regular basis. So unbelievable so far, let's keep going. Mark has received many suggestions and emails from his fans asking for pictures of his private areas. How rude and unpleasant. How dare they ask for such a thing? Wait, that's actually the wrong script. Sorry about that. I was writing another script about a video you should not know about, but it's alright. They were asking him to download a specific phone application that does a specific task in order to get specific results. So specific so far. So what does this app do exactly? They say it's supposed to detect any weird, out-of-nature movement around it and take a photo of it. How cool is that? Yeah, we thought we would have flying cars, but look at us, dealing with ghosts everywhere. Mark set up 2 phones in his house to see what he could capture because, for some reason, the guy is rich enough to own 2 flagship phones plus a house at the same time. So at night, he woke up to some noise. He went outside his room to check what could be causing it, and upon looking down the stairs, he realized his flashlight on the first floor was flickering on its own. Downstairs, nothing much happened except maybe a very faint, unexplainable sound. But then we were able to finally take a look at these private pictures he took. So it's about to get dirty. Yeah, we could see some scary-looking figures and terrifying faces with their mouths open and eyes closed. He has all of that under his pants. No, I was talking about the ghost detecting app photos.
Estaba pues editando videos y ya se empezó a escuchar que se está tomando fotos. Bueno, se escuchan ruidos allá abajo. Esta estaba cerrada. ¿Vieron? Ya se escuchó. Es que con la luz creo que no se ve. A ver. A ver si se ve el flash. Ahí se vio uno. Se escuchó. Escucha como una respiración. Estoy solo en mi casa, no hay nadie. Ni siquiera está mi perro. Ahí dejé el primer teléfono. ¿Para qué grabo? Bueno, ahora sí que tomaré las fotos para allá. ¿Quién sabe qué fue ese ruido, Esto siempre está abierto, ¿qué pedo? Siempre está abierta esta. Ya ni sé para qué la cierro si siempre la abren. Esta es una de las que estoy viendo. Esta es de la sala. No sé por qué salió así como borrosa. De hecho, todas las demás fotos que salieron de la sala, pues ninguna se ve así. Esta es la única que se ve así. Creo que se ve clarito, no sé qué pedo con esto. Y se ve como si se estuviera alargando, no sé qué pedo con esto, Dígame si lo ven. ¿Ya? Ahí como que se materializó, no sé por qué ese pedazo negro no es nada de sombra. O algo que haya generado sombra. No, eso no debería de estar ahí. No debería de estar ahí eso. Yo dije, bueno, no, pues ya nada más salió eso. Pues agárrense, ahí les va. Otra que salió así como movida, no sé por qué, porque les digo el teléfono estaba estable. Y volvió a aparecer ahí mismo. Pero, vean esto. ¿Quién sabe cómo se le ve la cara? Y se ve como si estuviera... Eh, como transparente, no sé. Ah, ¿dónde estaba? Esta. ¿Ya lo vieron? ¿Qué pedo con su ojo? Como si un ojo lo tuviera salido y el otro ni siquiera lo tiene, no sé, y de nuevo como la boca abierta o no sé qué pedo.
Honestly, even if this app is making things up just to make some sales for the creator, knowing that my house is haunted, these photos will just make me that much uncomfortable and unable to take a rest. We all know the fear of being left alone, and here I'm not talking about being left alone by others and feeling the solitude way of living. It's not that emotively deep. I'm talking about being left alone in the house. When we were kids, that always terrified us. In fact, our parents wouldn't leave us alone because they were afraid that we might break loose and mess up the house. But what they don't know is that we wanted someone looking after us in such a situation more than anyone else, because we are afraid of the unknown. Now, as we grow up, we look back at those times and think how silly we were, but what if we were not? That question will be answered in the next video. It isn't a scientific proof of why we were right, it's more like a poltergeist proof. We have Celeste, a girl who is fully matured to say the least, so she isn't that young to act foolish when left alone in her family's house. Her family left her to stay alone for a couple of nights as they were on a trip or something. It doesn't matter where they headed, what matters is where Celeste was left. She was safe, but not all the way through. As she began hearing noises outside her room, she had to keep the door locked so these ghosts wouldn't get in because they believe what we believe. As long as you're under the blanket or in a room where we feel safe, they can't get in. Celeste did leave the room to check the place but found no evidence of movement until one night she found the house's entrance door open. She sat her iPhone outside the room to record if any paranormal events occurred, but these demons wanted her to experience the activity live. As she was checking on the recording, an object fell off, followed by a shadow figure peeking at her, while the lights were also turned off on her suddenly.
Estoy acostada aquí, literal no hay nadie. No sé qué voy a hacer, me da miedo ir a ver. Yo creo que me voy a parar a ver. No mames, no mames. Eso no estaba tirado ahorita. El cereal se supone que estaba allá arriba. No mames, la neta, no mames. No, vete a la verga. Vete a la verga, vete a la verga. Please, en serio. No mames, güey, no mames, está abierta la puta puerta. Please, lo creo que me da mucho miedo. Please, la neta, no sé qué hacer ya. Ya me cansé, ya me dio miedo. No sé qué voy a hacer. Voy a cerrar la puerta y le voy a poner seguro porque la neta no se ve nada. Pero fíjate. ¿Qué pedo? ¿Por qué hace eso la cámara? Por ahí se escucha un ruido. Como por ahí. No mames, no mames, no mames. No mames, no mames. No mames, güey, no mames. ¿Qué vergas es eso? ¿Qué vergas es eso? Me está dando miedo. Te lo juro que estoy temblando. ¡No! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! Estoy aquí afuera de la casa. Me da miedo. Me da miedo. Me da miedo meterme ya. ¡Vete a la verga! Ya me dio miedo. Porque sí me ha pasado cosas, la neta. Pero se mira para acá. Y escuchen, no se ve, no hay nada. No hay nada. No mames, no mames. ¿Vieron eso? No mames. No mames, güey, no mames. ¿Qué pedo? Güey, no mames. ¿Qué vergas es eso? ¡No mames! No mames. No mames, no mames.
Segunda parte.
After the shadow figure incident, she called the police to inspect the house, and they couldn't help her out, as they found no signs of intruders. And what baffled me more is that pink-colored thing she recorded moving. I still can't tell what it was. It looks like a towel or a tail. Hadi and the Ghosts. That's the title of my next movie that I will never create. Hadi is an ordinary investigator who goes to abandoned places only to get laughed at, and I'm not the one laughing at the man as you may think. This has nothing to do with me, officer. Sorry. The officer stopped me and thought I was going to be tricked when he threw that bag inside my car. And yeah, don't ask how I'm writing while driving. The guy named Hadi in the next video decided to investigate an abandoned venue he visited during the daytime, and when he came back at night, which is the next video, he found some panels and gypsum stolen. Now we can't obviously blame everything on the ghosts. I mean, what would the ghosts' business be with gypsum? The night begins, and so does the investigation. While it was rainy and stormy outside, it just added more tension to the atmosphere. Hadi began greeting the spirits if there were any lingering around the place. And so they did greet him back in their own way, which is by creeping him out. The ghosts responded to Hadi's greetings with a growl that sent shivers down the spine of that man. Then they began throwing stuff around, like, for example, a piece of glass they found lying on the wall. They threw a plastic box that was in the corner. Hadi got closer to a drawer chest he found, and so the drawer chest felt comfy, so it began opening its doors to Hadi, and even tried to tie up the distance with the man. In one instant, the man lost his cool in a creepy moment where a rock fell from the ceiling, and if he wasn't careful, he would have gotten injured. Remember when I said they laughed at him? Yep, at some point, he began hearing weird laughter out of nowhere, but he never backed down.
Kacanya sudah menghilang. Gipsum, sebagian gipsumnya sudah menghilang. Sepertinya, teman-teman, ini ada yang ngambilin. Ya, sama oknum-oknum yang tidak bertanggung jawab. Saya tidak tahu itu oknumnya siapa, teman-teman. Tapi yang jelas kita di sini hanya melakukan eksplorasi dan investigasi, teman-teman ya. Wih, apaan tuh? Suara. Dengar nggak sih? Ini suaranya setan di sini tidak begitu jelas karena samar-samarnya dari kendaraan di sini. Tapi entahlah ya, ini terekam atau tidak. Tapi yang jelas, teman-teman. Tapi yang jelas tadi saya mendengar suara geraman. Siapapun itu makhluk halus. Allahu Akbar. Makhluk halus, makhluk tak kasat mata hadir. Coba nampak ke kamera saya ini. Saya penasaran dengan kalian semua yang penghuni tempat ini. Ya, teman-teman ya. Ini saya di malam hari langsung blong begitu aja, teman-teman. Langsung blong begitu aja. Allahu Akbar. Jin, dedemit, kuntilanak, tuyul, hadir. Kemarin saya sempat Astagfirullahaladzim. Siapa itu? Hadir, ya hadir. Siapa? Tidak percaya kalau sama tubuhnya sendiri, harus percaya, teman-teman. Karena sinyal terbaik itu adalah di tubuh kita masing-masing. Anjir, itu gerak sendiri tadi di sini ada nih. Tadi di sini dia. Tiba-tiba ada yang mental ke sana, wing gitu. Allahu Akbar. Ya teman-teman ya. Sinyal terbaik itu adalah sinyal tubuhnya masing-masing, teman-teman. Assalamualaikum, permisi. Wahai para jin, permisi. Saya ingin berbicara. Saya ingin ini apa ini? Tuh. Saya ingin berkomunikasi dengan kalian semua. Saya ingin anjir. Gerak. Jir. Gojar gajir. Jir, gojar gajir. Hey. Setan yang ada di sini di samping saya, hey. Ayo gerakin, mana yo? Ayo gerakin, ayo coba. Astagfirullahaladzim. Astagfirullahaladzim. Allahu Akbar. Ya Rabbi. Allahu Akbar. Astagfirullahaladzim. Gerak teman-teman, gerak. Bau tai. Bersuara. Apa itu? Teman-teman ya. Ada menggeram, ada mendesah. Siapa itu? Hadir. Teman-teman merasakan nggak apa yang saya rasakan? Anjir, apaan lagi nih? Kopi Lampung. Apa ini? Serbuk kayu apa kopi ya? Kopi Lampung. Hah? Teman-teman, seperti ada yang berbicara, makananku katanya. Truk-truk tanah lewat sini berisik sekali. Apa itu? Teman-teman, suara batuk.
The good thing about this place is that it's opened wide to the street, which in my case is a plus if I wanted to investigate an abandoned place. At least that way, I would feel more comfortable. How long has it been since I featured Lainey and Benny on this channel? Well, the last time I did, these two were like single parents. Now they have a baby, and I'm still here digging for some views. Anyway, if you can read the title on screen, it says, "There once was a ship, and the rest is history." If you know the very famous song behind this lyric, why reference a stupid song in a paranormal video that should send shivers down our spines? And did you have to add that last line? How cringe. Let me explain. Explain why it's cringe. No, you fool, I meant let me explain why I made such a reference. Well, in one of the clips in the next sequence of paranormal videos, there was once a video where it seemed like the ghosts were messing up the kitchen in the background, at an angle the camera couldn't see, and the way it sounded, it was like that beat from that song. Now let's get more serious, because up until now, we have been just talking about the light stuff. Let's get to the really scary section, where we can make these babies click out of the video due to not being able to handle the horror, of course. As Ben was investigating his kitchen with no electricity on, using only the light of the candle, something happened right behind him that made him shake like a blender. Then later on, he heard the sound of something dropping. He went to check, only to find his dignity. To find his lamp on the floor, and then it started turning on and off by itself. Later that month, as he was giving us a look at that lamp, the door behind him started knocking. Who could it be? He opened the door to find no one. It reminds me of myself there. But at night, the kitchen turns into a mess with the drawers and cabinets going crazy on their own. Am I...
This bar stool just moved. This bar stool just moved. This one right here. That bang, the metallic bang was me kicking the bin, but oh my god. That shook me out big time, man. I was looking over in this direction towards the stove and stuff, and I heard this bar stool. It was like, no, it was louder than that. It was like, are you able to? Oh my god, this is literally like what it was like before, and once again the cupboards are absolute dives, but never mind that. I'm just going to show in the cupboard because people will be like, there's someone hidden in there. It's definitely not. Can't even fit a person in there. It's not even a full cupboard. So I was just through in the kitchen. I've been sorting some bits out. Lainey's just taken the baby up to bed, and I came in like after hearing a huge thud in the living room, and I've just found this. Like this lamp here has just kind of fallen onto the floor, and I don't know how it's happened because the legs don't even like turn in or anything like that. Like they like slide up and down, but it looks like this leg is the one that's given way after I've taken a little look. Can you do that again? Bro, I can literally, you can see the like. Okay, that's enough, thank you. Can you turn it off? You can probably hear Lainey upstairs with the baby.
Am I the only person who saw a double door leading to that storage room? I'm sure I saw Ben open 2 doors when he heard the knocks, so that's the only thing that intrigued you from all the clips. Actually, yeah, let's... They say wherever you go, you leave a mark. And I thought this would just make you feel as if I'm about to break down the deepest story you'll ever hear. But in reality, I was just being cheesy. Also, teasing up for what to come. For me, when I look at abandoned factories, I always tell myself, I wish I could actually be able to investigate them, look around the leftovers, and feel the creepiness of the environment. Then, why haven't you tried entering one and investigating? Are you too scared? Or does your government have laws against such activities? Well, I just can't see, so I wouldn't be able to tell what it is. And with one lie out of the way, let's take a look at the next abandoned factory warehouse. Are we actually going to take a look at it? No, I meant let's talk about it. The investigation was conducted by Colton and Casey, and they kicked it off with an EVP session. They seem to have captured some interesting sounds. Sounds like what? I don't know, that's why I used the word interesting instead of explaining specifically what sounds they have captured. Very unprofessional so far. Then they went to the bathrooms, where they seemed to have heard sounds like doors slamming, and the moment they opened the door to check these bathrooms, I felt very emotionally charged. I felt frenzy, like I had finally found the lost love of my life. Are you into toilets? Not literally, but what did the investigators find there? Oh yeah, about that, they found the doors all swinging at once. The moment Casey tried to see what's behind one of these toilet doors, some heavy shattering sound came out of nowhere, followed up by a faint voice. Later, a fire extinguisher was thrown on the ground. While doors were slamming somewhere, tapping sounds were still a thing. Casey and Colton took some pictures, only to find what looked like a strange-looking phantom.
Somebody in this room like to come and talk with us? Maybe you don't like the lights. I can cut the light out. See if you can stay focused on that once the light goes out. Can you light that device up? Hear all sorts of noises in here. Maybe it was wildlife. You know, there are rats, pigeons, bats in places like this, but we were definitely hearing some sounds.
Dude, it is like pitch black in here.
Oh yeah, I can't see a thing on this camera.
The only thing I can see is the light sensor from your camera bouncing off.
We checked one bathroom. There was a couple stalls in there, very, very old looking. And I walked across from that bathroom area. There was another bathroom.
Oh, dude.
Colton and I were walking around this factory for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Haven't seen anything move. Haven't seen anything crazy. I turn a corner and just 3 doors closing at the same time.
All I felt was like a slight gust of wind this way.
All 3 of the bathroom stalls in there just closed and then the door slammed in my face.
Was it a gust of wind?
No. All 3 of them closing at the same time? Why wouldn't they be moving right now? There's glass all over the place in here. Dude, I'm getting a reading now.
Is that orange? Whoa, bro.
Did you just something go by us? What was that?
Bro, that was insane.
Goosebumps, bro.
What does it say? Did you hear that? No bull. What does it say? Did you hear that?
What does it sound like?
It sounded like voices. It wasn't a conversation, it was like 2 words.
Really?
Yeah.
See?
It was loud enough for me to like hear it with my ear.
Did
I'm
it sound
sure the
like
camera caught
more
it.
than one person talking?
It sounded like 2 tones of voice, yeah.
I don't like that at all. Was that, bro? Where did that just come from?
I have no idea.
Did you trip on something?
No, that was way past those. That was on the ground over there.
Let's get EVP recorder, REM pods. Let's bring all that back here.
Yeah.
What the dude?
All right, here, you got the light. You lead the way.
Yeah, let's go. Do you smell flowers? Like potpourri?
Something sweet, something, yeah. You hear that?
What was that? Dude,
You heard that?
It smells like roses in here or something. Yeah. Okay, we're being toyed with now, bro. There's something toying with us now, man. That's trippy.
All right, let's go get some of like the fire hydrant area.
Yeah.
The bathroom, yeah.
What was that? What was that? That's trippy, dude. What? Was that one of the ones from the beginning? Or is that the long shot?
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
It's hard to see on the camera, but this one, that's another one of those. What the hell, bro? That one's crazy. Nothing in the bathroom?
Mm-mm.
They say that in this warehouse facility, there have been some instances of people hearing echoes of machinery sounds, as if these machines were still functioning. I can understand the jinn hunting a place, but why would they hunt machines? Sometimes when you want to take someone with you to somewhere vacant or to some place you shouldn't get near, let's say because it has an allegedly bad reputation, you should always be careful of their actions. Like for example, if you happen to be an investigator and one of your friends or relatives asks you to bring them with you to whatever place you're going to investigate, make sure they are aware of what they could possibly come across in there. And make sure they are also prepared to face some bad circumstances. Long story short, this was more of a message to our next guy, whose name is Jay Antunes. He decided to bring his cousin with him to an abandoned farmhouse that has been vacant for 40 years, and it's so old and deteriorated that some parts of its floor are almost unwalkable. His cousin, who looks more like a geek to me, was calm and tried to act cool throughout the video. They used a K2 meter to get signals for any possible ghosts or spirits present, and it became so clear at some point that the place is haunted as the K2 meter began spiking repeatedly, indicating, as I mentioned earlier, a presence of a ghost. I mean, the presence of a ghost. When using the spirit box, it became clearer that the place isn't a joke, as if anyone had said it was before. Voices began responding. One of them said it was the owner of the farmhouse, when he was alive at least, and doubled down on it by saying, Lou, which is the name of his dog. To conclude the investigation, Antunes decided to check what's upstairs, but couldn't go up as he heard some loud noise suddenly coming from up there, which spooked him. The most terrifying moment was when his cousin was geeking around in a different room alone, when some invisible force pushed him all the way. He fell on his back like a turtle, and so they had to flee.
Que isso?
Cara, velho.
Cara, da onde tu falou, cara? Olha só teu braço, cara. Que isso, cara? Tu se assustou, tu veio pra trás, cara?
Cara, de lá, cara. Jogaram uma coisa lá, cara.
Veio de lá?
Aham. Não sei como, jogaram.
Cara, será que a gente vai até lá então? Calma. Porque precisa ir até lá, cara.
Meu Deus do céu, velho. Estão chamando a gente.
Você tem coragem de vir aqui? Você lembra de mim? Eu já vim alguns anos atrás aqui. E hoje eu tô lembrando? Trouxe meu sobrinho aqui. Folha de ralo?
Cara.
Ó. Vocês são malucos? A gente é curioso, né? E a gente... Nossa, velho. Veio de cima ali, calma. Peço que não ataque a gente. Nossa, cara, sei lá, essas lanternas ficam mais fracas de uma hora pra outra já. Calma, fica perto, calma. Não se distancia, cara. Ô, calma, fica perto aqui, velho. Que isso? Que isso, calma?
Caraca, velho.
Se levanta, velho. Que barulho que foi esse? Que barulho que foi esse, calma?
Nossa, velho.
Que barulho que foi esse, velho?
Meu Deus do céu.
Vem pra cá, velho. Se machucou, tu chamaram ali, ó. Pega ali, velho. Vem pra cá, bicho. Meu Deus, que barulho que foi esse, cara?
O demônio me atacou, velho.
Vem, velho.
O demônio me atacou.
Meu Deus, cara. Eu vi esse barulho ali, calma. Tá maluco, cara?
Não, você viu meu rosto assim e gritou na minha cara, velho.
Sério, calma?
Cara, ele pegou meu rosto assim e gritou na minha cara.
Meu Deus, cara. Vem pra cá, calma. Vem pra cá. Pra você.
I don't know what button Jay Antunes' cousin pressed that triggered the ghosts to the point where they had to push him this hard, as if they said to him, "Man, get the heck out of here with that nerdy look you have on your face." When I was watching the next clip, I was like, when will this video get good? Like, when will these old, rusty legs open up? Wait, what? I'm sorry, that was a text my friend sent me about his girlfriend. I don't think we needed the extra information. Anyway, the video had a slow start, or so I thought, because it turned out these videos are always hiding something, like a treasure under these pants. Are you still contacting that friend of yours? Nope, I meant it literally with this one. Jassim is investigating an area full of abandoned small houses. You can say it's like an abandoned hood. Nice. What's so nice about what I just said? It's a terrifying place full of jinn and paranormal activities, and it's very dusty and icky. Before Jassim decides on which house he should start with, he receives the answer. It's like a holy message that was presented to him so he could decide where to go. It sounds like it's going to kick off with a stunner. A bucket fell right in front of Jassim, pointing at the entrance door of one of these houses. Then he decides to go there, and here, things unfold one after the other. The ceiling started falling apart. And here, I'm not talking about my own house's ceiling. Maybe I'm not living in the best conditions, but not to that extent. Then the door moves by itself. A sound of an object being thrown around can be heard coming from the kitchen, which takes us to an even more extreme level of activity. Instead of cabinets opening and closing, we have objects flying around. The chair moving, and the whole freaking shelf cabinet falling apart. At that point, I started regretting asking for more activities. My mouth was full already, and I couldn't swallow any more of it. It was a nice experience, but that's enough. Are you talking about the paranormal activity or something else? Don't worry, my child, I'm not one of them. Of course I meant the paranormal. Back to Jassim, as the misery doesn't end there for him. On his way out, after he had enough after seeing a closet shake it off, they threw once more another closet. Then he was greeted with one more bucket falling in front of him.
سمعتون صوت يا جماعة ولا؟ وكأنه في حد. في حد؟ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من الدواليب يا جماعة الخير والله من جد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا الله. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. بسم الله. بسم الله. لا إله إلا الله. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر. لا إله إلا الله. والله العظيم يا جماعة إن هذا كله تشلدخ، كله طاح. لا، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. بسم الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا 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 لا. بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. لا 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 يا جماعة. لا 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 لا. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. لا 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 لا. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. حصنت نفسي بلا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا 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 لا. الوضع مو طبيعي يا جماعة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. بسم الله. ولا إله إلا الله. بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا 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 لا. معلش يا جماعة الخير. هذا الواقع. هذا آخر بيت. بسم الله. هذا في بلاء والله العظيم، في بلاء. بسم الله. سمعتوا الصوت يا جماعة؟ اللي جا من هني. في حد؟ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن. لا 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 لا. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله. لا إله إلا الله. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. لا لا لا.
There was too much activity to talk about here. I didn't know when to stop. Every couple of seconds, he finds something. I even feel like it's never going to end. I bet even when he came back to his house that day, the door opened by itself for him. Here comes Roberto, another Hispanic man, who is about to do something stupid. Should I also tell you what the legends had to say about doing stupid things? So what is Roberto up to? Does he have the good stuff? Now, I'm not so aware of what you could be referring to when you say the good stuff, but he definitely doesn't look like someone who sells it. Ruby was talking to the camera with a big smile on his face, as if he were about to celebrate his birthday after a year of no celebrations. So I said to myself, how wrong can it really be? Roberto is just a happy man who is trying to tape something of himself so he can one day look back at it and see how happy he used to be before life got into him. But then he brought out the Ouija board. I was like, where did that thing come from? I was just eating my food, and all of a sudden I found an extra bag of fries. It really made me excited. But I also said, where was that Ouija board hidden? I don't really want to know. So he started playing it. It was going very slowly, but I was taking my time, as I learned from the first video experience, until the flame of the candle jiggled. I said that could be normal, but then the planchette started moving, and here come a pixel moving on its own in the background. Look, the quality wasn't that clear, but it's either a picture or a clock, which some ghost was pissed at, and he decided to throw it.
Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Voy a iniciar lo que es una sesión de Ouija. Aquí está el tablero. No sé si pueden verlo ahí. Bueno, ahí está el tablero. Aquí tengo el apuntador. Y prácticamente la conseguí por internet. Me costó algo de trabajo conseguirla, pero quise tenerla para que, más que nada para comprobar si lo que he visto en YouTube, en los videos, es real o simplemente, no sé, propaganda. Y esto lo voy a hacer, ya tengo listo para ustedes, especialmente para ustedes. Tengo listo la vela. No sé si alcancen a ver el incienso. Y en esta ocasión bueno, no sé, tengo curiosidad y voy a invocar, supuestamente, a ver qué sucede, a uno de mis tíos fallecidos, y vamos a empezar esta sesión. Una vez que haya respirado las 3 veces profundamente, vamos a mencionar el nombre de la persona, en este caso que es mi tío. Cristóbal Martínez Ponce, ¿estás ahí? Contéstame. Quiero platicar contigo. Cristóbal Martínez Ponce, contéstame, quiero platicar contigo. ¿Estás ahí? ¿Estás ahí? Contéstame. Digo que sí. Senior como que no estaba. Senior como que no estaba raro. Noto una sensación extraña.
The ending was lame. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted some more action at the end. Maybe push this man. Punish him a bit for seeking demonic communication. But whatever. I wouldn't want to be the night shift employee myself, but I have been for quite some time in the past. The only difference is I was working with a group at the time because it was a fast food restaurant, so in no way, in this world, would they let one employee work at any time, not just the night shift. But when talking about solo queue, where you have to be chosen to work as a night shift security guard, there is no one but you in the building, and for some reason, the ghosts get bored when they see you. They decide to heat things up and they start triggering your nerves, which is exactly the case with our next dude, Brandon. He was patrolling his night shift. He picked up the phone to show his audience how it is at night at the store when no one else is in the building but him. Little did he know he wasn't indeed alone. The manager has nothing to do with him, obviously. He was somewhere sleeping with his lady, but Brandon was befriended by a ghost that night. As he was showing us some toys, which was cool of him, letting the kids get a taste of these little colored pieces of plastic, a box behind him fell off the shelf inexplicably. Though Brandon wasn't scared in the moment, or at least he tried to keep his composure, I could sense his nerves trembling. This incident led to something far scarier, to a ghostly attachment. Ever since that night, things have shifted as his dog began behaving like a scaredy puppy. He began staring at different angles for no reason and hiding as if a raging storm were breaking outside. It caught Brandon's attention, but he had no idea why the dog was acting the way he was. Even at the store where he works, he once heard the water running on its own.
Estaba grabando sobre cómo es trabajar de noche solo en el centro comercial y pasó esto.
Está bonito, está bonito. Hay variedad, hay variedad, hay variedad. Llévele, llévele. También
Lo
algo que
raro
me saca
pasa
mucho
aquí.
de onda son estos. El Santo, versión Spider-Man. La película de las lesbianas 2.0. ¿Qué cojones? Amigos, no es broma, no hice cortes ni nada. Bueno, estaba con los juguetes y de repente se cayó una, no sé si alcanza a ver, una mercancía sola. De hecho se escuchó cuando andaba con el boss Yogurlai. Y esto no fue coña, amigos, esto se cayó solo de verdad. y estoy un poco asustado porque no suele pasarme esto mucho. De repente sí se escuchan cosas raras y así, pero no es algo que digas, uy, qué miedo. Por lo regular, pues a todo le encuentro una lógica de por qué pasa, pero esto me sacó de onda así muy de repente. Y ustedes mismos lo escucharon, no sé si se alcanzó a escuchar en el video, en esa parte donde estoy mostrando al boss.
Me pasó algo raro más adelante,
se quedan
pero
las
eso
cajas
será
ahí.
para otro video.
De hecho ahí están, mira. Esas no estaban así. Dios mío.
Nada mal para mi última noche de trabajo.
Qué bueno. Siéntate. Oye, te están diciendo mucho nahual, ¿eh? ¿Qué tienes que decir al respecto porque te están diciendo nahual? ¿Nada? Muchos comentarios de que eres un nahual. Akira, te quiero preguntar algo. Siéntate. Oye, Akira. ¿Eres un nahual? ¿Es cierto que eres un nahual? ¿O es mentira? ¿Eres un nahual? Akira, ¿por qué no volteas a verme? ¿Eres un nahual? Ni siquiera me volteé a ver. Akira, y ni siquiera hay nada que esté viendo para que digas está viendo algo, ¿no? Simplemente me quitas la mirada.
That was how he met the ghost, a title for a book this guy should write in the future if the attachment keeps itself attached to him and causes more scary phenomena. You might be wondering, why does it seem as if I'm stuttering in the title of the next clip? Like, usually that would happen if I'm feeling uncomfortable or scared. So what did I see in the next investigation that was so terrifying that it led to this title being written the way it is? Well, I think you're giving it too much attention, and I only wrote it this way because Tim stuttered when he was about to say the door, so it's only for fun. Are you mocking us or something? We are here to be terrified, not to have some fun with goofballs like you. Thanks for your honest and harsh opinions. Now let's talk about Tim, whom you should have asked me about but never did. Tim Wood, owner of a YouTube channel, led an investigation with psychic artist Kristen Manning and paranormal researcher Kieran Davison. These guys plus John all decided to take a deep look at the Whispers estate in Mitchell, Indiana, which is shrouded in a dark history of tragedy and paranormal activity. Once home to a doctor and his family, the estate witnessed numerous passings, including a young girl who perished in a fire caused by a Christmas tree. And that's why, my friends, you should never bring these things home. Continuing, reports of hauntings abound, with sightings of a malevolent entity known as Big Black who scratches and harms visitors. Wait, isn't it offensive to call an entity by such names? Even if they are evil, harmful, ghosts, or whatever, you should not judge people based on their actions alone. Okay, first of all, I was never the one who gave him that nickname. Second of all, you're talking about him as if he were a real creature of some sort. That mofo is a freaking jinn entity at this point, and if you're not going to justify him based on his actions, then what is the metric you will be using? Anyway, during the investigation, these guys tried different methods to provoke the devil out of this place, and so they received. They heard the sounds of doors opening, and one even tried to handshake the spirit as if he were handshaking the president. They got some of the EVP's responses, and Tim was even scratched. But it all went dark when they tried what they call God's helmet, which is a device to enhance paranormal experiences. John was half possessed, while Tim was behaving awkwardly. Even when Kristen was trying to calm him down, he treated her like an ex-wife.
Did you guys feel the floor shake?
Yes, I did.
Was that just...
I don't know if it...
Whoa. Wait, the door. There was a door.
What?
The door just moved. Do you want us to get out of this room? Or do you want to come into the room?
Come on, I'm offering you my hand. Let's make a deal.
Reach out and shake my hand. Come on, I'm offering you my hand. Let's make a deal.
Okay!
What did it say?
Oh my god, no way!
You reach out and shake my hand. Come on, I'm offering you my hand. Let's make a deal.
Okay.
Can you make this door move? Can you knock on it or something? Make that bell move? If you're so strong? It's moving, dude. I swear to God. Look. Are you filming it? Is it moving? It was just spinning, I swear to God.
It's moving.
You got it? It was spinning. Slowly. Can you make it spin? Is it moving still? Are you strong enough to make it spin more? Make it a little bit more noticeable.
We're going to be doing an experiment up there, and it's kind of a hybrid kind of experiment. The experiment I'm going to be conducting is I'm going to be doing it at God's.
These are boxes just turned on.
Wow, that just turned on by itself.
Tim decided to begin experimenting with a device called the God's Helmet. This device pumps the brain with electromagnetic frequencies and specific data to enhance the brain's perception and potentially open the subject to a paranormal experience. During the session, Tim began to remove the gear from his head, saying that he wanted to stop. When we asked about his experience, he told us that in his mind, he had traveled through the entire house using the mirrors in each room as doorways. John then decided to try out the God's Helmet experiment. We rigged him up and left him alone in the nightmare room.
Demons.
John most definitely felt the effect of the God's Helmet. In fact, he has never acted this way during any of our investigations. He stated later that he felt as if something had completely taken over his body and was making him smile.
You look crazy, John.
Chill out for one more minute so we can finish this real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Guys, John's acting drunk.
Close it. No. We're saying goodbye first.
I'm saying
No.
That's why I got up there.
We're saying goodbye on this board first.
No, I don't want to say. You never say goodbye.
John?
Okay. Somebody go.
I don't know. I just don't even feel normal right now. I don't even know
You're
what it's
not
like.
normal, that's why I'm
Dude, I don't
checking on
even
you.
feel like myself right now. Like I just don't even feel like normal. I don't know. I just
You
want
aren't.
like I just want to be like alone. I
I
don't
get
want
it.
like be in my face. I don't want to like.
Not with the flashlight. No flashlight.
During an EVP session, Tim began to feel a burning sensation on his back. He pulled his shirt up, and we were shocked to see a large scratch mark in the shape of the letter Z etched on his back.
In honesty, I knew it was done for John when he started smiling and staring at the camera. He won't be behaving like that at his age out of the blue, especially if you went under some experience for the sake of investigating. Have you ever heard of a caretaker? You mean an undertaker? No, you dummy, a caretaker. These two are completely opposite. The caretaker is someone who takes care of others in their house, offering them some place to sleep comfortably, and I think it's meant for the elders. I'm describing a job I never heard of before seeing the next clip, so excuse my knowledge. And for some reason, I could only imagine ladies doing that job, which is the case in the next video. Mrs. Tennyson is a good lady, according to my speculations based on the videos I have seen from her, and she does work as a caretaker in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She had one of her clients and an elderly lady sleeping in the room talking while sleeping, which is not that surprising considering that people at her age have gone through a lot already. But that wasn't fully the case here. Obviously, I wouldn't have a video in a scary list of videos, or so-called, just because some old lady was talking in her sleep. Maybe she was saying some demonic rituals while asleep, and that's why you decided to feature the video. Don't put words in my mouth, I'm already full. Mrs. Tennyson heard sounds and noises coming from the room of that client, so she decided to check the security camera to see what was going on there. Little did she know that would be the beginning of a horrifying tale. A white-looking orb, or so it seems, was spotted moving back and forth under the bed and even floating above the head of that client. And if that unsettling movement under the blanket wasn't caused by the client, then this adds a whole new aspect of terrifying paranormal activity to the scene.
Every night I'm at work, I be thinking I'm tripping. But you gotta watch this video, y'all. You see that move under the bed? Like I know for a fact this goes to my client's house. I be seeing, you see it keep moving like right there under the bed? It's moving back and forth. You see it? It's ghost in my client's house. Look under her bed. It'll come out and go back. Now she in bed asleep. She ain't moved an ounce. But do you see how it keep coming out, going back in? This is no joke. My client truly has ghosts in her house. You see it? She don't have a dog. She don't have a cat. But it's always something moving in her room on camera at night. Sometime it'll fly directly across the camera. Be creeping me the heck out. Like, no doubt. I'm gonna let's be still so y'all can see. You see it moving in there again? Look at that. It's moving up by the bed now on the frame. And then you'll see it move again. You see that? I think I'm tripping. Maybe I want to. It's real live ghost in here in her house. And no matter how I turn the camera, that ghost is in that room and it ain't going nowhere. Look at that ball sitting right next to her. Like a ball of light. Right up by her face. There's no way no one could tell me that this is not a ghost or a spiritual being in her room. It's somebody that loves her or wants to be near her or something. Look how close it is. It'll even move sometimes. I don't know what the hell is going on. But do you see it on her headboard now? That circle ball of light. And when it gets real close to her, as if it's talking to her, a voice starts talking. And I'm not even sure if it's her voice. Because she really don't sound that raspy.
Some people who watched the clips assumed that this could be the spirit of a relative of this client, and since the elder lady has lost her husband, they think that this could be his spirit, or what's left of it. But I say not. Why? I have my own thoughts on these assumptions, which I can't share with you guys here. Your brains might not be able to take them. When I say the footage is terrifying, you better believe me. I have been doing this for years at this point, and I was also born in the corners of fears of ghosts and jinn. That last line might have sent goosebumps down your skin, because it was so cringe. But to justify myself, I will handle you in the subsequent clip, something you will admire if you're a fan of horror content. Otherwise, what are you even doing here? The video features a woman and her daughter, who were both rushing back to their apartment after some stranger began chasing them down weirdly. They had a Ring camera at the door, which was really needed in such moments as it captured the man's behavior. He stayed behind their apartment's door. He was acting as if he was hit or as if he was having a strong headache. Maybe he had sniffed something prior to his chase after them. Now, this was creepy and all, but was it really worth this hype I just made for the clip? Absolutely not. The hype wasn't for this part. It was for the follow-up. As I said, the guy was at their door, but the door of the apartment behind him opened. Well, maybe it's just their neighbor. Think again. That apartment has been vacant for years, and its door hasn't been open ever since. To add more to the eeriness of this incident, the door opened on its own and closed right after, while nothing could be seen from inside, as it was pitch black. Jasmine reviewed the footage after and realized what just happened. She had to check if there was anyone visible inside, but there were no signs of any presence. She called the property management to investigate the place, and when they opened the door, they were shook to see what they found. A pile of children's shoes was all piled up on the floor, and the skin of a snake was in the corner. Jasmine had doubts that some weirdo might be behind all of this, so she installed a new security camera and set up bait using a child's shoe. What she captured made her shake like a milkshake. The boots were captured moving on their own. But before this paranormal incident happened, the neighbor heard crying from that very same room. She went out to check and was presented with that paranormal activity I just mentioned.
I don't understand how I didn't see this, because this is ridiculous. I just called the police. Get out front of my door. This is the last time I'm going to tell you. Get out front of my door right now. The police on the way. Go. In the 3 years that I've lived here, I have never seen this door come open. Ever. Like, I can't. But in the video, you saw the door just came open. Who opened the door? Like, look at it. Like, pitch black. Like, make it make sense. Like, how? How? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Just look, watch this. The door comes open. There's nobody there. Yeah, so property management sent somebody up to come take a look, so I'm gonna let him do what he do, and I'm gonna stay back here.
The light works.
You say the light works? Y'all, he said the light works. Oh, Lord. What is that? It's over me. Y'all. What the is going on? Y'all see all these little kids? They have put kids' shoes up in there. What the? So how does? So hold on, because no, this other day the door came open when I was in here. So if the door came open, like no, I'm sorry, I'm not. Okay, y'all. So remember that thing? I thought it was a snake. I really thought it was some plastic, but I'm not gonna get close to this. This is real snake skin. Oh my god! Look at this. You can see like, ooh. Oh my god. Look at that. So I'm looking back at this video that I took probably a minute ago, right? And I noticed something in a pile of shoes. Those frozen Elsa boots, whatever you want to call it. Those boots are my daughter's. Like, I'm gonna show y'all a picture that me and my daughter took like, I want to say like 2 months ago. Yo. This is crazy because I really thought she just lost them at school. Those shoes belong to my daughter. Somebody in this building must be going around here just collecting shoes. And I'm not gonna say collecting, stealing little kids' shoes around here. I've talked to at least 2 or 3 different people in this building who have said that their children been missing shoes. So I'm thinking that somebody has access to that room and they're going around stealing shoes and then taking them and putting them in there. They're just putting shoes in the room. Like it just none of this makes sense to me, man. None of. Okay, y'all, I'm finna get to the bottom of this. See these little shoes right here? Put them here as bait, right? Some real cheap shoes, just, little kid shoes or whatever. But what I did was I got me a plant, right? A little cheap plant too, but look what's inside the plant. Hopefully y'all can see it. Hopefully nobody else see it, but.
To this day, these videos are all that could be found about this case, but in my opinion, if I were Jasmine, or if I were in her position since I'm not a female, I would have moved out. I'm not living next to a sinister ghost. When you read the title, 5 out of 10, you may think of something demonic related, some scary talisman that I could be referring to, or some frightening story that happened a long time ago about some phenomenon that was documented by a paranormal team of experts. But you went so deep with your thoughts, allow me to explain. This title is basically referring to my own rating of the performance of our folks in the next video in the last act of this investigation. Both of them are exploring all the possible hidden poltergeist events that could take place in this abandoned school, which to me looks like a hospital if I haven't looked at their video description. And to kick it off, let me first ask you this simple question. Have you ever seen a chair? I know you're shaking in fear, asking yourself, what's a chair? But don't worry, my child, you will see a lot of it in the next clip. Let's put the stupid stuff aside and focus for real on the scary parts of things. These two didn't waste a single opportunity when it came to chairs, as whenever they go, they use these chairs to do something paranormal with them. Wait, How could they be the ones behind the activities? Did I say they? I was referring to ghosts. Of course, these two are just normal humans. What could they possibly do to make these chairs move, rotate, or even gather and close at each other like that? There is also fire in my heart. I mean, there is fire coming out of nowhere, which is supposed to be the cause of these two falling down at the very end. I never heard of a simple flame knocking people out of their consciousness.
Kalian ngelihat nyalam mesin fotokopinya nyala. Astaga Tuhan, ya Tuhan, lindungi hambamu ya Tuhan. Astaga Tuhan, ya Tuhan. Astaga Tuhan, anjing. Astaga Tuhan, anjing. Bangsat, anjing, ngejar cok, bangsat, anjing, ngejar. Kok suara? Suara apa itu? Lu ngapain nih, Kok jangan bercanda, Kok jangan siul-siul. Kok jangan siul-siul, Kok jangan siul-siul. Kursi gerak, kursi gerak, kursi gerak, kok udah bercanda kursi aku, coba bercanda temanku, jantung gue. Bukan kayak apa kok? Ya ulang ya, oke? Dah. Kursi gerak mana itu? Biar nggak apa sih? Sabar dong bangke. Kalau kita ngerokok dulu kan kontol. Setan, saya ngerokok dulu ya. Kau lempar-lempar akrobat kau ya, anjing. Astaga Tuhan. Ada suara lemparan. Assalamualaikum. Oh ya, ya Cok. Oke Cok, tunggu Cok. Sat. Loh. Kunti ngintip. Jelas ngintip di sini. Kunti. Assalamualaikum. Itu semuanya gerak. Aduh biong. Tali. Remote. Aduh biong. Ini aduh biong. Semuanya gerak, mati aku Cok. Semuanya gerak. Ini kursinya semuanya gerak. Aduh. Biong. Tali. Semuanya gerak. Aduh. Semuanya gerak ini. Ini semuanya gerak. Tali remote. Ini gerak guys. Enggak. Dia tidak percaya. Ini gerak. Ini kursi ini gerak. Bawa kotaknya itu jalan. Wah. Tuh. Kok pingsan. Kok pingsan. Aduh, kok pingsan iki. Kok aduh, mati.
I'm over here wondering who had the time to upload these videos if both of them were knocked out cold. Clearly, they must have woken up from their nap at the end. I don't know why I'm playing along today, acting like I genuinely believe their little performance. Usually, whenever I see someone who is dealing with paranormal activity inside his house and can't seem to solve the issue, no matter what options he chooses to work on solving the situation, I always recommend they leave the place or burn it down for good. The second option might seem a bit over the top and aggressive, but you might be stunned to know that sometimes these situations may escalate to the point where the house burns itself down. Or so it may seem, because depending on how you think of it, the explanations may vary. Long story short, you see, burning a property you own is never a good choice to consider, no matter what the circumstances are. But what if you didn't actually do that, but rather they did? Who are they who could do such a horrible thing? Tax collectors, or the grocery store owner whom I told that I would pay you what I owed you and that I was never to be seen again? In both situations, that might be logic, but I'm referring to the jinn. Yes, fellas. Next, in the upcoming video, we have Meguro, a man who was called by Nakano on the phone. Not using carrier pigeons, because that would be too dramatic. He was called to investigate his house, as he has doubts about the possibility of the items he collects being cursed. What kind of items? Like decoration statues, it's like pottery items. He wants the guy to verify whether these things are actually haunted or not. What kind of invitation is that? And since you have already told us that his property was burned down, Nakano sent Meguro to meet his fate. That man should be arrested. I told you before to never jump to conclusions. The place was burned down, and they say it was due to an electric leak. Or so they say, because Nakano suspects it was accidentally caused by the cursed items. These items were seen in a paranormal action. The doll was caught moving its eyelid, the dog statue's head broke, and the lady doll statue was flipped. The man was running back to his room in the clip because, according to the transcript, he was trying to take his camera, which was given to him by his grandpa, and he valued it, so he was trying to salvage what remains of it. Helena is a lady who moved to a new apartment only to be stunned by the ghostly haunting that she has to deal with in order to stay in the house. She called up the real estate office from which she bought the house. The phone is ringing and someone answers the call. "Hello there, this is Mike. How can I help you today?" "Yes, this is Helena. I want 2 double cheeseburger. I bought this house from your office. So, do you want us to give you a visit?" "No, I was calling because I have a serious problem." "Oh, if you mean the ghost haunting, then don't worry, ma'am. It's natural to see stuff moving on its own or to find your soft drinks empty all of a sudden." "What? What do you mean it's normal?" "Well, ma'am, I said natural, not normal. Nonetheless, you have signed for this in the first place. It was written on the contracts that you agree to live with ghosts. Do you have any more questions, ma'am?" "I can't hear you." "Of course you have nothing to say because you've never read. How pathetic." After that phone call Alina had, she called the investigator Mike to come and investigate the house. So Mike answered and rogered that. He received the order and didn't disappoint. What was in the order? I'm not talking about a fast food order here. Mike took his haunting equipment, from the holy water to the ovilus, to prepare himself for the upcoming scary events. Remember when I said these ghosts would leave the soft drinks empty? Yeah, they drink and also eat, while also shaking stuff up, such as the mirror on the wall. They open and close doors, but one of them missed the party, so when he came back home, he found the door locked. He started knocking so aggressively in a moment of terror, but Mike stood his ground and didn't allow his fear to take over him. How dramatically scary.
Какие-то звуки. Вот сюда, я думаю, я его повешу. Вот здесь. Все вот его действия, да, были именно когда меня не было в квартире. Что были стуки в дверь? Там нет никого. Это что за херня? Никого нету. Это уже с кухни был звук. Что? Как? Что за херня? Хуйня. Блядь. Что здесь было опять? Он включил воду. Ответь на вопрос. Почему ты... В каком смысле? Да кто ты такой вообще? Вот, на ваших глазах. Кладу шоколадку. Сейчас там 2 дольки. Одну я взял и отложил. Ухожу на 1 минуту. Ай, блядь. Уже зашуршало. Сука. Блять. Он съел. Одну только оставил, смотрите.
I was going to mention the part where this so-called ghost breathes on Mike's ear. He was asking for a mint or something to eat so he could get rid of the bad smell. That's why he ate the Bounty chocolate bar, plus the fact that Alina didn't really make that first phone call. They say you could never catch a falling knife, and I say you could. If you let it stab you, it will eventually stop midway, and you could say technically you have caught a falling knife. But have you ever seen a flying ghost and thought you could catch that? Well, in the next video, which is taken from a security camera, we have a team of security guards reviewing footage that shows their colleague. Their colleague wasn't in an embarrassing position. He was doing his job as a security guard. He was standing outside when his attention was caught by what seemed to be a flying ghost. They call it the flying head ghost in Thailand, and it's related to black magic, as they claim.
ลุงของแท้เคยเห็นนะเห็นดิอ๋อเนี่ยคือดูไงมันก็ใช่เฮียใช่ป่ะล่ะแล้วบอกว่าเป็นลูกโป่งเฮียเป็นกูยืนอยู่แล้วกูวิ่งแล้วไอ้สัตว์กูคงไม่มายืนแล้วไปนั่งดูอย่างนั้นหรอกโดยเฮียลูกโป่งที่อะไรอ่ะลอยบินลงมาหลบต้นไม้ได้นะลูกโป่งหาเลยดูเลยลงมาหลบต้นไม้เลยอ่ะเห็นดิอ๋อเนี่ยคือดูไงมันก็ใช่เฮียใช่ป่ะล่ะแล้วบอกว่าเป็นลูกโป่งเฮียเป็นกูยืนอยู่แล้วกูวิ่งแล้วไอ้สัตว์กูคงไม่มายืนแล้วไปนั่งดูอย่างนั้นหรอกโดยเฮียลูกโป่งที่อะไรอ่ะลอยบินลงมาหลบต้นไม้ได้นะลูกโป่งหาเลยดูเลยลงมาหลบต้นไม้เลย
I don't know how this is related to black magic, but in the jinn world, there is something called the flying jinn, who travels around in the skies at a very rapid pace, and you might have a chance to see it in your life. This might be it. It could also be, as they described it, related to black magic. Someone might have used it to hurt someone far away, and they sent this ghost to him. Or it could have been those who watched the video and fled before they subscribed and watched the next video on screen.